really need to stop chugging my coffee. Hey guys, I am so excited. We are back for month 2 of Random Spin Wheel Chooses our monthly TBR. I am so I'm like flabbergasted. Like, I am so incredibly blown away by how much everyone loved month 1 of spinning my favorite little addictive wheel to come up with a random assortment of books on our monthly TBR. And let me tell you something. Last month was probably the most fun month of reading I have ever had in my reading career or life, because it was such a perfect mix of books I've been so anticipating reading, mixed with books that I don't think I would have ever prioritized last month. And it was all because of this silly little spin wheel. Knew you were off kilter. Don't mind me. Once again, I'm a professional. So we're going to do it again. And I am so excited. However, we have made some adjustments to our spin wheel. So basically, for the last month, I've been in my Instagram comments, in my Instagram messages, chatting in my YouTube comments, chatting with some subscribers, and we have made a couple of changes to, or a couple of tweaks, I'll say, to the wheel to make it not only more random, but like remove a little bit of repetitiveness and make it more interesting. So let me go ahead and put up here. This is what our original wheel looked like last month. This is how it looked. And the number one feedback I got when the conversation started and we were like, let's make a couple of changes, was mostly because the Kindle Unlimited pie slice and the Kindle pie slice seemed, from what people were telling me, and I completely agree, the feedback was that it was a little repetitive. Like, couldn't we just have one Kindle pie slice and that could include my unlimited books? And I totally agree. But then we kind of put all our brains together over on my Instagram messages, and we came up with a way to fully randomize another aspect while also letting me mood read a little bit, because that's kind of what I like to do. I don't mind having a little bit of structure, but if I have a TBR that I'm required to read that I don't get to choose, I'm not as prone to stick to it and enjoy it. I need to have like a healthy balance of books that were picked out for me that I want to read, but also a mood read where, like, so for example, if you give me a list of 5 things that I have to do, I am so much less likely to get those 5 things done if you don't throw in like 1 or 2 things that are fun. So last month I picked 10. I have never read 10 books ever in 1 month. I knew that was overkill, but the reason why I did that is because I like having a stack that I could kind of pick through as I want to read. I don't want to just have 6 books that I'm required to be like pigeonholed into these 6 books for the month. So let me go ahead and show you the tweaks we've made and the new wheel that we are going to use. Let me pull this up. Okay, so here it is. It looks a lot different, right? It looks a lot different. Let me do this. Okay, so let's go over some of the changes. As you can see now, we did remove the 2 Kindle slices and combined them into 1. So now there's just a 1 Kindle slice that could encompass anything that's on my Kindle. Anything. Kindle Unlimited or books that I physically downloaded and own. So if I get that, I get to pick anything off my Kindle. However, look at the other things that are different. So you're going to see that your choice pie slice is still there. However, we also added, and the buy one slice is still there. However, you're going to see off last and off first. There are 2 yellow slices on the wheel. And what that is if I spin that and get off first, I have to go to Surrey and I have to ask her to give me a random letter A to Z, and I have to pick an author with the first name with that randomly assigned letter. Same way with the last name, just obviously with the last name. So there you go. That lets me have a little bit of creativity with my TBR, removes a little bit of you have to read this structure, but also is fully randomized. The next the next pie slice you're going to see is the series slice. So what that is I get to go and pick a book off of my TBR that's in a series I'm currently working towards finishing. My goal is I don't really love starting more series when I'm in the middle of like 7 of them. So if I get the series slice, I have to go and pick a book from the middle of a series that I'm working on. The next one is genre spin. So what that means is I made another wheel, and I will go ahead and put that up. So I made another wheel here, and you can see what I did was I put different genres and then duplicated them twice just to make it a little bit more interesting to look at. But our genres are nonfiction, mystery/thriller, romance, and fantasy. So if I land on the genre spin slice on our main wheel, I have to come and spin one of these, and I will get a randomly assigned genre that I can go and pick from my TBR. Like I said, if there is a way to overcomplicate issues, I will execute. I will find it. I will do it. We have now overcomplicated this, and I'm kind of loving it. So, before our first spin, let me get back to our original spin. Before our first spin, I also spent all morning this morning going through my TBR and renumbering my shelves because I've added a couple, I've read a couple, so my numbers were a little different from last month. So I went through, I renumbered all of my shelves, so they're completely updated as of this morning for what we need. So, without further ado, let's get into spinning. Okay, once again, we are going to, should I make this bigger? Yeah, Jesus. We are going to, no, I guess not. We'll do it this way. We are going to screenshot, screen record, wait the 3 seconds, and are you guys ready? First spin. Shelf 10. I love this so much. Shelf 10 is a fantasy shelf. Fantasy fall continues. All right, let's go over to shelf 10. Here we are at shelf 10. This is a fantasy shelf. There are a couple of series there. This is also my Olivia Blake and my Marissa Myers shelf. So maybe, oh, and my Shatter Me shelf. Okay, so this could get interesting with the series. So let's go ahead and let this focus. Come on, there you go. All right. Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 25. Number 20. I know it's always kind of annoying about focusing, but let's see if I can get this to focus. Number 20. All right, let's go count. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You ready? That is The Book of Azrael by Amber Nicole. Oh my gosh, I am so excited for this. Gods and Monsters, Book 1. This one's kinda, whoa, the font is really tiny. Okay, going on the TBR. I honestly don't think I'm ever going to be able to get over how flippin' fun this is. Okay, let's go ahead and notate that one. Okay, next spin. Open her up, screen record, wait the 3 seconds. Here we go, ready? Spin 2. Shelf 8. That's in the next room again. I think that's another fantasy shelf. Let's go see. Okay, we're gonna roll with this angle, which is so beyond ridiculous because shelf 8 is all the way down here. It's pushed up against my bed. This is my bed in the guest room, and it's so beyond hard to record. So we're gonna make it work because I want you guys to see this. All right, let's see. Shelf 8 is between 1 and 26. Hey Siri, Pick a number between 1 and 26. I don't know if you could see that. 18. All right, let's count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yes. Wait, is this part of a series? Hold on. Oh, geez. Of course, it's going to be difficult to get out. Is this, I think... It's definitely part of a series, but is it part of a bigger series that I have to read beforehand? Wow. Stop shoving my books in here so hard. Okay, is this part... I'm going to have to look this up. Because... No, it's not. Okay, we're good. All right. Wait, I have another... I feel like something else by this author was on my TBR last month as well. Let's get about this. Okay, you ready? Number 18 is An Heir Comes to Rise by Chloe C. Peñaranda. I am so excited about this. I feel like, what else does Chloe C. Peñaranda write? There's another book that I feel like I have by Chloe C. Peñaranda that's not a part of this series. An Heir Comes to Rise is the first book, I believe. What is this series called? I don't remember, but I'm super excited to add this to the TBR. Ready for spin number 3? Okay. Screen record. 3 seconds. Here we go. Back to shelf 10 it is. You know what? Since we already took a look at shelf 10, let me end this screen recording. And while I'm sitting here, what did we say shelf 10 was? 25. Okay. Let me see if it'll talk to me if I turn my ringer up. There you go. Sometimes it doesn't. Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 25.
A random number between 1 and 25 is 25.
25. For some reason, Siri picked up on my iPad, but you can see that. 25. Let's go grab it. Okay, I just ran over and grabbed it so I didn't have to move my camera again. You didn't need to watch me count to 25. But number 25, the last one on shelf 10 was Olivia Blake's One for My Enemy. I am so excited to read this. I also have an Illumicrate special edition of this book, but as we've discussed before, I try not to read my special editions if I have the regular edition. And this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive. It does have really beautiful artwork on the inside, so I am so excited to read this. So far, this might be the one we start the month with, so we'll see. 3 spins, 3 fantasies. Do you think we're going to have another month of fantasy heavy? It is, in fairness, I own the most fantasy, so like the law of proportion says we'll probably get mostly those. But let's see if we can add a mystery thriller, a romance. I do have like 2 nonfictions, so we're not working with a ton there, but let's see. All right, spin number 4. 18. That one was like right dead center. I wasn't sure if it was going to say 19 or 18. 18 is a romance shelf. All right, let's stop the recording and take the very quick little jaunt right here to shelf 18. Okay, shelf 18. You can see this is a heavy romance shelf. It has all of my Off-Campus Briar U series. It has all of my Addicted Calloway series. It has a bunch of Kennedy Ryan. It has all my Abby Jimenez, all my Tessa Bailey, a bunch of other just really classic romances. So let's see what numbers this is. This is 1 to 39. So let's see if I can get this. Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 39.
The answer is 18.
18? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so this is Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. Now, I know that this is part of this cute little duology. So there's Unfortunately Yours and Secretly Yours. Do you have to read Unfortunately Yours first? Let's do a little, let's do a little research on this. Let's see. Let's go to, if it's on Tessa Bailey's like work as labeled one in a series, then we'll read Unfortunately Yours. Let's see. If it's just an interconnected standalone, then I'm not too worried about it. Oh no, wait a minute. It's actually the opposite. Let me show you this. There's like a smudge on my phone. Okay, so here you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but Tessa Bailey's work list, it actually does list it as a duology, but Secretly Yours is book 1 and Unfortunately Yours is book 2. So we are going to go ahead and put Secretly Yours, book 1, which is exactly what Suri chose, right on my TBR. Okay, since we're already down here, I figured, why not do spin number 5 from right here? So, have my iPad. Let's throw the spin wheel up on the screen. And I believe this is spin number 5. 3 fantasies and a romance so far. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, yes. Author last name, which means this is going to be the first opportunity we have to use our new, our new system, I guess that's what it is, our new system of choosing a random letter. So are you ready for this? Hey, my voice just cracked. Hey, Suri. Choose a random letter. Hey, Suri. Choose a random letter.
Here's what I found.
Interesting. Can we not use Suri? Let's see. Hey, Suri. Choose a random letter between A and Z.
Here's what I found.
Does Suri not choose random letters? All right, well, she sent me to a random letter generator. Let's see what this does. Look at that. Okay, ready? Let's screen record this then, because why not? It's a random letter generator wheel. Let's see. Oh, geez. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. This is a long wheel. F. Okay, so we have to choose a book with the author's last name beginning with F. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Let's go take a walk and see what options we have. On second thought, change of plans. We're going to apply this random author last name that begins with F the same way we apply my wild spins, meaning I'm going to wait to the end to select them. I kind of want to see what books are specifically put on my TBR, and then I'll fill in the blanks with my wild spins. So say, for example, we end up having all fantasy and romances. Maybe I'll use my author that begins with F to pick an author with the last name of F that happens to be a thriller, just to kind of fill in some gaps. So I think that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to choose that one last. Let me write a little note to myself. Author, last name, F. We'll choose that one at the end, which means we're going to go ahead and spin number 6. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. A Kindle book. Why are we're getting like a super great variety of different options on this one. So that's another one. We'll go ahead and notate that, and we'll choose that one at the end. We can go ahead and go through my Kindle together. So we get to spin number 7 again. So 1, 2, 3. Two. I believe that's Mystery Thriller. And that's going to be another shelf that's hard to film. We're going to make it work. So here we are, back at our random angle at shelf 2. This one is right in the corner. So this bookshelf is actually primarily books I've already read. So both of these first 2 shelves are books that I'm done with. The third shelf is split half and half. So the half of the shelf nearest my corner I've already read, and then my mystery thrillers start and go up here to my next shelf of mystery thrillers. So there's only a couple books on this one that I haven't read, and it's numbered 1 through 16. So, hey Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 16.
The answer is 3.
3. Okay, that's easy. Let's do 3. It is 1, 2, 3. One of Us is Next by Karen McManus. This is actually the sequel to One of Us is Lying, which I have not read. So what we're actually going to put on our DBR is One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. I'm super excited about this one. Nice big writing, a little bit of YA mystery thriller. I think that's going to make a really, really good complement to what we have already. Might as well sit here to do spin number 8, since there's a large chance that we will be back in here to do our book selection. So, let's pull up our wheel. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Shelf number 16. Of course, because I said we would most likely be in this. We're not. We're actually in the other room. So let's take a walk over to shelf number 16. Okay, here we are at shelf number 16. This shelf is super interesting because it's where my fantasy ends and my romance starts. So it's not exactly split 50-50, but there's 50 books on this shelf. And if it's like numbers 1 through 25, it's most likely to be fantasy. If it's books 25 through 50, it's most likely to be romance. So that's super exciting. There's like a good chance. I'm not sure what we're going to get here, so let's see. Hey Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 50.
The answer is 21.
Of course. 21. Like right in the middle. I genuinely don't know what this is going to be. Wait, I'm super excited. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We have Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. That's super interesting. This would be my first Christina Lauren book. I have so much of her work. I just have never gotten to it. So that's going to be an interesting first start with Christina Lauren. It's not one of her like cult favorites like Love in Other Words and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to put that on my list. Guys, I am literally loving how this TBR is looking. It's such a good mix of stuff. So we might as well just do our next spin right here. So 3, 2, 1. Author first name. Oh my gosh, okay. So now we get to grab my phone, maybe go back to that like random letter generator. I think that's what we do, right? Okay, ready? Let's screenshot this and do this random letter generator again for the first name. Oh my God, V? V. Oh, that could get really, really interesting. Author with a first name that Victoria AVR. Okay, we'll do that at the end. I'm really excited. We'll do that at the end. I love doing these videos so much that I get like legitimately bummed that it's our last spin. Oh, all right, whatever. It is what it is. We get to do it again next month. All right, let's grab our wheel. And 1, 2, 3. Back to shelf 9. That's a fantasy shelf. All right, let's take a walk over. Okay, here we are at shelf 9. This is another fantasy shelf. Actually, quite a good number of standalones on this shelf. We do have the start of the Iron King series. We do have Heavenly Bodies and Fallen Stars. I guess maybe it's just a shelf that has a lot of first in the series. But I'm super excited because there's a lot of really, really good options on this shelf. So this is 1 through 20. So let's see. Hey Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 20.
The answer is 20.
20! Okay, that'll be easy. Let's go ahead and pick number 20. That one's easy. Number 20 is The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. I also have a Fairy Loot exclusive of this book as well, but obviously we don't read special editions. I have been so incredibly intrigued by this book, and also it's a nice, super floppy paperback. Really excited about that one. Okay, so that is officially 10 spins, so we're done spinning, but we still have to pick our author, last name F, author, first name V, and our Kindle book. So what I think I'm going to do right now is I am just going to leave you here and do a time lapse of me just going through my books and putting together a stack of some options for author, first name, author, last name, and then we'll go through my options and pick them together.
A little nonsense is what I need. Now if you wanna get the best of me, got you smiling, that's for sure. Funny how you had the best of yours. I don't know if I'll make it home.
So after exhaustively searching my bookcases, we have our stacks. So let's do our author first name first. So the first book I pulled, you kind of guessed because I mentioned it when I got author first name V. She was like the first author that pulled, like that I pulled up in my head. I grabbed Waterstone's edition of Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. I believe this is the first in the series. I know there's like Realmbreaker. It's not Oathbreaker, I don't think. I'm not sure about. I grabbed Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. I have wanted to get into her writing so badly. I've heard really great things about her. I've actually heard mediocre, like 50-50 things on her Red Queen series, which I think here in the US is like the more popular one. I'm not sure. I don't own that one, but I've heard really great things about this Realmbreaker series. Like I said, this is the Waterstones edition, and it does have the really beautiful red edges. It also is signed. Look at how gorgeous this map is, first of all. Wow. It's beautiful. It is signed by Miss Victoria Aveyard herself, published in 2021, so it's not that old. So this is an option. Let's see what this is about. It says, a squire, the survivor of a failed quest, an immortal, timeless and unfathomable, an assassin skilled and heartless, an old sorceress holding secrets behind her teeth, and a pirate's daughter, the ward's last hope. The heroes are gone, but the fight to save the world has only just begun. A strange darkness is growing in the ward. Even Coraine and Amarat? Coraine and Amarat? Is that how you pronounce this? Can feel it tucked away in her small town at the edge of the sea. Fair knocks on her door in the form of a mythical, immortal fate. Fate knocks on her door in the form of a mythical immortal and a lethal assassin who tell Coraine that she is the last of an ancient lineage with the power to save the world from destruction, because a man who would burn kingdoms to the ground is raising an army unlike any seen before. Bent on uprooting the foundations of the world, with poison in his heart and a stolen sword in his hand, he'll break the realm itself to claim it, and only Coraine can stop him. Alongside an unlikely group of reluctant allies, Coraine finds herself on a desperate journey to complete an impossible task, with untold magic singing in her blood, and the fate of the world on her shoulders. Okay, so what I'm gathering from this is more like a high epic fantasy, possibly. At least in the description, it doesn't sound like there's like romantasy, or it's not like the main theme. So this sounds almost like epic fantasy. So that's a possibility. I also grabbed a couple works from V.E. Schwab. I've never read anything by V.E. Schwab, and obviously the first name starting with V is a little bit obscure, so our options were kind of limited, but I grabbed a couple. This book is damaged. Makes my heart hurt. Just don't look at this corner. Don't look at this corner because it's kind of yucky. So I grabbed, obviously, the classic Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Like I said, I've never read a V.E. Schwab, but I do know this is about a woman who is immortal and lives through several lives. If you are a movie buff instead of a reading buff, this is the book that Blake Lively's Invisible, I'm sorry. Oh God, what's her book? Aging Adeline? Age of Adeline. This is what Age of Adeline, this is the book that that movie is based on, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. So I know this is about an immortal woman, and I don't really want to know too much other than that. I've heard some people say this is a 5-star read, their life is changed after reading it, and I've heard other people say that it's a bit slow. It's more of like a literary fiction. So I could go into that. Or if I'm feeling more of like a supernatural, paranormal, mystery, thriller, fantasy element, I could go into Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This is the first book. There's Vicious and Vengeful in this duology. I know nothing about this. I believe this book is about a couple of college students who are studying like the supernatural. It says, Victor and Eli started out as college roommates, brilliant, arrogant, lonely boys who recognized the same sharpness and ambition in each other. In their senior year, a shared research interest in adrenaline, near-death experiences, and seemingly supernatural events reveals an intriguing possibility that under the right conditions, someone could develop extraordinary abilities. But when their thesis moves from the academic to the experimental, things go horribly wrong. I've heard really good things about this too. So, maybe this one. And then the last V.E. Schwab I grabbed was the first book in the Darker Shade of Magic series. I know that this actually has a spin-off series coming relatively soon. I think it's called like Fragile Threads of Power or something like that. I don't know. But this is the first book. I know nothing about it, like I said. I think, is this the book that has different colored Londons? I think it's based in London, and there's like a red London and a black London and a gray London, I think. Is it like a caste system, like a social hierarchy? I don't know, but welcome to Grey London, dirty and boring it is. Without any magic, with one mad king, George III. Then there's Red London, where life and magic are revered, and White London, a city slowly being drained through magical war down to its very bones. And once upon a time there was Black London, but no one speaks of that now. Officially, Kell is the Red Traveler, one of the last magicians who can travel between the worlds, acting as an ambassador and a messenger between the Londons, in service of the Moresh Empire. Unofficially, he's a smuggler, which is a dangerous hobby for him to have, as proved when Kell stumbles into a setup with a forbidden token from Black London. So he's like a smuggler between the different Londons. That sounds really interesting. Okay. So, looking at my options, right off the top of my head, this is kind of shocking because she was the first person that came to mind, but I think I am going to eliminate Victoria Aveyard. I think just looking at the stack of books I already have, I don't know if I want to slap on an epic, high epic fantasy. I'm so second guessing myself, but I think I'm going to eliminate Victoria Aveyard, which means we are going to choose our first V.E. Schwab. So we have a couple of romances, we have a couple of fantasies, we do have one thriller. Do I throw on a literary fiction? All right, I think I'm going to do The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue as our author that begins with the V. Author's first name that begins with V. I think I'm going to do that. Okay. Oh my God, the writing is small. Don't second guess yourself. I'm doing The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. So then next, we're going to go into the author with the last name that begins with F. And we have our fun little stack right here. So let's talk about it. The first one I grabbed was Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. Once again, this is the second one. Hold, please. First one, Carly Fortune's Every Summer After. Meet Me at the Lake, I think, is the sequel to this, or it comes after. I do believe they're standalone, but I like to read them in order. So the first one I'm going to go ahead and slap onto our stack is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I've never read anything by her. I think this is like a cute little summer. I believe they meet at the lake every 10 years. So I think it's like a childhood friends, second chances type vibe. It says 6 summers to fall in love, 1 moment to fall apart, a weekend to get it right. I am thinking we have Something Wilder and Invisible Life, which I believe are both like more leaning towards literary fiction. So I really think the only straight up romance we have in our stack is Secretly Yours. So putting another romance on the stack might be fun. So that's a possibility. The other one I grabbed is Victoria. This is in the wrong stack. This was supposed to be in authors that begin with V. Victoria Benton Frank, My Magnolia Summer. This is a romance. I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't have chosen this anyways. I think I'm going to keep this for the summertime. So this just disregard. Didn't happen. Professional over here. So anyways, the second with the author's last name that begins with F that I grabbed is Cruel Princes by Gillian Frost. This is the first in her Princes of Devil's Creek series. She writes a lot of mafia romance. I'm assuming that's what this is going to be. I actually read her, all of them. I believe it's called her Boardwalk Empire. Where is it? Boardwalk Empire. Oh yeah. Boardwalk Queen, Boardwalk Kings. It was her Boardwalk Empire series, which was a mafia romance. So let's see what this is about. I hate the Princes of Devil's Creek. Luca, Bastian, Marcello, and Damien. For most of my life, no one wanted me, not until they needed me. Turns out I'm the lost heiress to a multi-billion-dollar fortune and a pawn in their game. I'm sick to want them. It's dangerous to need them. I think I'm finding my place among these depraved monsters, except there's one small problem. They're not the only men who want me, which means I'll be staying in their beds and under their protection for the foreseeable future. She writes like super smutty, sometimes like reverse harem. Boardwalk Empire, I think, was technically like a mafia romance reverse harem type of thing. So a reverse harem mafia romance. Cruel Princes, Gillian Frost. The next one I grabbed was The Nanny by Lana Ferguson. I know this book is about a girl who was doing OnlyFans, like some naughty stuff on OnlyFans, and then to make some extra money, she signs up to be a nanny, and I think when she finally gets like a nanny job, she finds out that the dad in the family was one of her OnlyFans subscribers, and I've heard it's like a lot spicier than you'd think. So, okay, after a slight mommy break, my son just called me, but... The next I could go into is Alice Feeney, Rock, Paper, Scissors. I have never read an Alice Feeney, and I've heard, arguably, that this is like her best work. So I think this is about a man who has facial blindness, like he can't recognize faces. Things have been wrong with Mr. and Mrs. Wright for a long time. Every anniversary, the couple exchange traditional gifts, and Adam's wife writes him a letter she never lets him read, until now. Self-confessed workaholic Adam Wright has face blindness. He can't even recognize his own wife, and Amelia is sick of feeling unseen. When Adam and Amelia win a weekend away to Scotland, it might be just what their marriage needs. This weekend may make or break their marriage, but they didn't randomly win this trip. One of them is lying, and someone doesn't want them to live happily ever after. So another thriller. We do have the Karen McManus book, but I think that's our only thriller. And then, this is the wild card, but something I'm actually really excited about. I have Beyond the Wand by none other than Mr. Tom Felton, aka Draco Malfoy, in the Harry Potter series. I'm Harry Potter obsessed. I honestly, today that I'm filming this, and I'm honest, these aren't hard to edit, so I'm probably going to put it up either today or tomorrow, to be honest with you. I just found out that the second Mr. Dumbledore, Professor Dumbledore, passed away this morning, so rest in peace. Very sad. So, almost in his honor, I'm thinking maybe I should put Tom Felton's Beyond the Wand. It's a nonfiction book about his time playing Draco in the Harry Potter series. I'm thinking maybe as a memoriam this month, I should read this and put this on my TBR, but at the same time, strategically, I do not have a large collection of nonfictions. So at any other point in the future when I'm spinning the wheel and I get a genre spin or something like that, and I need to pick a nonfiction, this is one of like 2 nonfictions I have in my entire collection. So maybe I should strategically save this. So I think I'm going to eliminate this because I want to keep it for a nonfiction spin. So basically we're between 3 romances and a mystery thriller. Fall time. Okay. I read The Last Word last month, and I have more romances. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I think I'm going to throw The Nanny by Lana Ferguson up on my TBR. It just feels really right when I stare at this stack. I think I'm going to be in the mood for this, and I would love to knock like a couple of cute little romances, or not cute, spicy little romances off of my shelves. So we are going to go ahead and throw on The Nanny by Lana Ferguson. I did go ahead and grab my Kindle. This is going to be the hardest part because it was just Stuff Your Kindle Day, and I put so many books on my Kindle. So choosing this is going to be so difficult. But first, let's take a peek at what is on my Kindle Unlimited library right now, like what books I have downloaded. Okay, you ready? So these are the books that I have on my Kindle Unlimited list currently. I have Collide, which is a hockey romance. I have The Marriage Auction by Audrey Corlin, which I believe is like a reverse harem marriage of convenience romance. I have, no thank you. I have The Scepter, which is the first by Jay Bree, which is the first, there's what is it? It's Crowns of Oaths and Curses, I think. Yeah, Crowns of Oaths and Curses by Jay Bree, which is a romantasy. However, before you go and jump right into that book, there's 2 novellas you're supposed to read beforehand called The Scepter and The Sword. So I could do The Scepter by Jay Bree, and that's just a little novella. So I think that would be kind of cool to throw on there. I have Signs of Cupidity, which is a romance by Raven Kennedy. I have Sidetracked, which is the second book in the Mind F series by S.T. Abbey. I have Done and Dusted, which is a cowboy romance. Minx, which I believe is a mafia romance by Sophie Lark. City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edward. A Ship of Bones and Teeth. Charlie Love and Cliches. Untying the Knot. A monster romance. Blood Orange, Steel King, Coach. The Two of Us, Ivy, Fate of Wrath and Flame, Bridge Kingdom, and When Gracie Met the Grump by Mariana Zapata. Okay. Those are my Kindle Unlimited. But let's go ahead and just flip through really quick and see what I actually have in my library. The thing that's intriguing me about what I have in my library is I do have a good number of arcs that I would like to get to. Let's flip through here. I could do a couple of new arc fantasies, or ones that I just stuffed my Kindle with. Curse of Shadow and Thorns. The Breakup Vacation by Anne is that Gracia? Anna Gracia? Was an arc that I was just sent. All in Monte Carlo by Anne Schilling. That's an arc I was just sent. I was sent so many of them. Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer R. Armentrout. That's the second in the Blood and Ash series. I could do that. I could do Accidental Puck Bunny, which is an atrocious name, but it sounds like a really, really cute hockey romance. Lovelight Farms by B.K. Borison, but I think Lovelight Farms is a Christmas book, so I think I'm going to save that one. Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I heard that one's heartbreaking. I could start Broken Bonds by Jay Bree. But if I'm thinking about throwing on The Scepter, maybe not. Savage Lands, In a Jam by Kate Canterbury. Okay, hold the phone. Decision has been made. I am actually going on vacation at the end of this month. I leave October 26th. And I am not going to travel with a bunch of books because it's a pretty active vacation. I'm going to take you guys along with me, don't worry. But I want to make sure that I bring my Kindle and have a bunch of options while I'm there. And I think if I end up loving this, This will be the book that I read while I'm there, and I could even continue on to the second one because I have a bunch of the series on here. The final decision is the first book in the Zodiac Academy. I believe it's called The Awakening. I am going to go ahead and throw the first book of Zodiac Academy series on my TBR. Let's do a quick rehab of what is on our TBR list for the month of October. The first book is The Book of Azrael by Amber Nicole. This is the first book in the Gods and Monsters series, and I'm really excited about it. It says, for thousands of years after the Gods' War, the ether world has known peace, but soon that too will change. An old enemy driven by revenge slowly builds an army behind the scenes. Temples are being ransacked in search of an item long lost, and enemies since the dawn of time must put aside their differences if they have any hope for survival. I haven't heard whether this is a romantasy or not. It doesn't sound like it by the description, but possibly epic fantasy, possibly romantasy. So I'm really excited to read my first Amber Nicole. The next one is An Heir Comes to Rise by Chloe C. Peñaranda. This is the first book in her series. And I did look, remember how when I was picking this, I said, oh, what else does Chloe C. Peñaranda write? She writes The Stars Are Dying, which I also have on my bookshelf. So she writes The Stars Are Dying. So this is, I believe, a more YA fantasy series. It says, in a clash of steel, a mortal body may fall, but in a clash of dreams, a powerful heir may rise. A sword in the impoverished outer town of a kingdom where fae outrank humans, Faith, an orphan with a talent for swordplay, knows the importance of keeping her head down around the fae patrol. She and her friend Jack Con, long for a better life, and her desire to swing her sword in combat may bring the purpose and coin she's earned for. When she draws the attention of Royal Guard Nick, she soon learns that her mortal nature isn't the only reason to remain out of sight. Nick is a Nightwalker, a silent assassin of the mind, with the power to enter others' dreams, and whether she trusts him or not, he's about to awaken abilities and faith that shouldn't exist in a human. Definitely a little romantasy vibe there. The next book we pulled was One for My Enemy by Olive Blake. This is a loose retelling of Romeo and Juliet, so it's going to be two families, I believe, are they witches? It's an intricate web of love, magic, and rival witch families in New York City. Yeah, so like two witch families. I'm assuming if it's a retelling of Romeo and Juliet with magic, it's, you know, they're like star-crossed lovers, family enemies, things like that. I'm very excited to read this. And this is an absolutely stunning edition with a bunch of beautiful artwork. Let's see if the boys are on the back. They are. Stunning artwork from Barnes & Noble's edition. I also do have the Fairy Loot edition of One for My Enemy. This one. Look at how beautiful this edition. Is it Illumicrate? It's Illumicrate, excuse me. This is the Illumicrate edition of One for My Enemy by Olive Blake. It is absolutely stunning. Look at those edges. And it does have the beautiful embossed pages on the front and the back. And it is signed by Olive Blake herself. So I do have this gorgeous edition of this book as well. We're probably not going to read that one though. The next book is Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. I'm super excited that we have a really well-rounded stack this month. I am looking for a couple of cute little romances. I actually really enjoy Tessa Bailey's writing. I did read What Happened Last Summer and then Hook, Line, and Sinker. And I really, really enjoy her writing. It's easy, it's simple, it's funny, it's rom-com-y, it's smutty. I really like it. She does Grumpy really well. Yeah, I mean, Brendan was a little interesting, but Fox was adorable. So this is about a new rom-com about a starchy professor and the bubbly neighbor he clashes with at every turn. Hallie Welch fell hard for Julian Voss at 14 after they almost kissed in the dark vineyards of his family's winery. Now the prodigal hottie is returned to their small town. When Hallie is hired to revamp the gardens on the Voss estate, she wonders if she'll finally get that smooch. But the grumpy professor isn't the teenager she remembers, and their polar opposite personalities clash spectacularly. So she's a gardener on his estate. That sounds cute. Okay, now for the first thriller we pulled. This is One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. I believe this is about 5 students or 4? 5 students who enter detention, and I believe one of them dies and they have to figure out who the murderer was. One Monday afternoon, 5 students at Bayview High walk into detention. Only Simon never makes it out of that classroom. Before the end of detention, Simon's dead, and according to investigators, his death isn't an accident. Oh, on Monday he died, but on Tuesday he'd planned to post juicy reveals about all 4 of his high-profile classmates, which makes all 4 of them suspects in his murder. Or are they just the perfect patsies for a killer who's still on the loose? So one of their classmates dies, and they have to figure out who did it. Then we have Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. Like I said, my impression of this is more on like the literary fiction side of things, not quite straight romance. I actually don't know much about it, but it says, growing up the daughter of notorious treasure hunter and absentee father Duke Wilder left Lily without much patience for the profession or much money in the bank. But Lily is nothing if not resourceful, and she now uses Duke's coveted hand-drawn maps to guide tourists on treasure hunts through the gorgeous Red Rock canyons of Utah. It pays the bills, but it doesn't leave enough to fulfill her dream of buying back the beloved ranch her father sold years ago, and definitely not enough to deal with the sight of the man she once loved walking back into her life with a motley crew of friends ready to hit the trails. Frankly, Lily would like to take him out into the wilderness and leave him there. But when the trip goes both horribly and hilariously wrong, the group wonders if maybe the legend of the hidden treasure wasn't a gimmick after all. That sounds really cute. Why does that sound so cute? Okay. Then we have The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. I know nothing about this either. I mean, if you're sensing a vibe, I like to go in kind of blind. If you know too much about the book, what's the point of reading the book? So, neither here nor there, but long ago, Luli Al-Nazari is the midnight merchant, a criminal who, with the help of her jinn bodyguard, hunts and sells illegal magic. When she saves the life of a cowardly prince, she draws the attention of his powerful father, the Sultan, who blackmails her into finding an ancient lamp. Is this an Aladdin retelling? Doesn't this sound like an Aladdin retelling? He's got to go find a magical lamp, and there's like a thief who, I don't know, maybe Aladdin vibes? With no choice but to obey or be executed, Luli journeys with the Sultan's oldest son to find the artifact. In a world where story is reality and illusion is truth, Luli will discover that everything, her enemy, her magic, even her own past, is not what it seems. This sounds like an Aladdin retelling. Am I crazy? I don't know, but it sounds very good. Next, we have The Nanny by Lana Ferguson. Like I said, this is a spicy romance about a girl who was an OnlyFans model and an OnlyFans worker who then gets a job nannying for a family and finds out the father of the family is a subscriber on OnlyFans. And I'm assuming, I don't know, they pick up on that? Fill in the blanks? I don't know. Anyways, he's a fan of her OnlyFans. There we go. Next, we picked up The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This is just like the movie Age of Adeline. She is a woman who is immortal. She doesn't age. And, you know, I think my impression of that is what most people are afraid of death and fear aging and death. What originally looks like a blessing, like she's not going to age, she's not going to die. I think it explores how it's actually a curse, how this woman just lives her life watching all those around her pass away before her and never being able to fall in love or get close to people because they might realize that she's not aging. So I'm really actually intrigued by this. Like I said, I've heard some people that say this is a 5-star read and some people that just aren't as into it. So Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And then the last book we picked was our Kindle book, and I am putting Zodiac Academy, The Awakening, the first book in the Zodiac Academy series, on here. I know nothing other than this takes place in a magical high school or college. I've heard it's kind of campy, it's kind of tacky. I've heard it's not the best writing you'll ever get, but man, is it fun. So I'm really excited to jump into that. Anything that's like magical college, magical school, a la Harry Potter, I'm probably going to be into. So thank you guys so much for joining us. That is our October TBR, another month of the spin wheel. And honestly, I hope you like the changes we made because I do. I really love that. I love switching it up with the author first name, last name, and all the different categories we have now. I am so excited to get into this and to hear what you guys think. And please comment below what you think I should start with in this month. Do all the YouTube-y things, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.